Hi friends, this is Bakappa. Welcome back to Testers Talk channel. In the previous REST Assured A/B testing tutorial, I have discussed how to configure log4j and how to generate log4j log file in the REST Assured A/B testing and how to write the stack trace information into the log4j file. Then finally, I have discussed how to write the API request details into the log4j log file, and also we have seen how to write API response details into the log file. In this chapter 7 of REST Assured API testing tutorial, I will discuss how to configure Allure report in REST Assured API testing and then how to generate Allure report in REST Assured API testing. Now I will start discussing about how to generate the Allure report in the REST Assured API testing. So before we go ahead and implement the logic, so let's look at high level what are the steps we have to do it. So let's see how to configure the Allure report in your system first, then we will see how to generate the Allure report in the REST Assured API testing. You can go to the google.com and here you can search for Bakappa and GitHub. And you can go to the my GitHub repository here, and over the repositories section, you can search for just Allure. So you will get the Selenium TestNG Allure report. You can go inside this repository, and here in the readme.md file you will find all the steps. The first step is we need to download the zip file, that's a Allure report zip file. We have to download it. So first you can go to this link, you can open it in the new tab, and here you can download any of the Allure report zip file. And in my case I'm using the 2.17.3 version, and you can go ahead and use the latest version, that is a 2.21.0. And after downloading the zip file, you need to, so for example, if I click on any of the link, so if I click on the 2.21.0, and here you will get the all the files, and you can come down and simply you can download this Allure command line 2.21.0.zip. So if you click on this one, it will start downloading the zip file for you. So after downloading the zip file of the Allure report, simply you need to unzip it. So you will get like this some zip file, and after unzipping it, simply you can go to the bin folder. So you need to copy this bin folder path, and you need to go to the your system variables. So inside the system environment variables, you need to set the path. So after setting the path, you can go to the command line, simply type Allure space hyphen version. So after entering this command, you should be able to get the version of the Allure report. So once you have configured the Allure report in your system, so if you look at here, so you need to download the zip file, and you need to enter this particular command in the command prompt. Then we will get the version of the Allure report. Then once it is done, simply we have to add these two dependencies. First one is the Allure TestNG, second one is Allure REST Assured. And once we have added these two maven dependency, we can create the any API test, and we can just use the annotations from the Allure report, that is a Allure report REST Assured. So we will get couple of annotations from this particular API, that is Allure REST Assured API, and we need to use those annotations from the Allure report and then from the Allure API. And once we execute all our API test, and at the end we have to use the one command called Allure serve. So after entering this particular command, we will get the Allure report. Then there we can verify all our test details. So let's start adding these two maven dependency. Then we'll create the simple API test, and we will add the annotations. And after adding the annotations, then we will execute all the API test. So here I'm going to the google.com. So let's add the two maven dependency. First one is Allure TestNG maven dependency. So that's it. And here you can go to this maven repository official website. So in my case, I will use the 2.17.3 version, and you can go ahead and use this particular version and make sure that you are downloading the 2.21.0 zip file, and also you are using this particular maven dependency. So in my case, I have installed the 2.17.3 version, so that's the reason I'm using the same API. So simply I'll copy this maven dependency and I will add into the my pom.xml file. So we have added the Allure TestNG. So let's add the another maven dependency called Allure Rest Assured. And you can go to the first link and let's go to the 2.17.3 version, and simply I will copy this maven dependency and I will add it into the my pom.xml file. So that's it. After adding it, simply save it. So firstly, we have seen how to configure the Allure report in your local machine. Then you need to verify whether Allure report is configured properly or not in your machine by using the Allure space hyphen hyphen version. Then you should be able to see the version of the Allure report. And then second thing is you need to add the Allure TestNG and the Allure Rest Assured maven dependency to your project. So after adding it, so let's create the Java class now. Simply I will copy the end-to-end API test Java class and I will paste it in the same package. Here I'll say paste and I'll specify the class name as Allure report generation. That's it. So let's open the Allure report generation Java class. So here we have to add the couple of annotations. So already, so in the Agile project, so you might have heard in the daily basis, you will hear all these terms. For example, epic, feature, story, and the story number, all these things. So we will use all those keywords or terms from the Allure report API. So here at the top of the class, I will add the epic name. So here I'll use the @epic. So this epic comes from the Allure API. So inside the epic, I'll say epic1, epic -01, I'll say. And then let's import @epic from the Allure API. So if you look at here, so it is coming from the io.qa.meta.allure. Simply import this package in your class. That's it. So this is based on the kind of behavior driven development, right? So based on the behavior, all the features and the story things will be aligned, right? So first we have added the epic. Let's add the feature. So here I'm saying feature and we'll specify the feature name. So how we have added the epic name. So these details you can get it from your Jira test management tool or any test management tool. So you can use the Jira or ADO, that is the Azure DevOps, where you will be finding all the epic name or the feature names. So here I'm adding right now some random names. So here I'm specifying the feature name as, here I'll say booking. So instead of I'll say booking, I'll say create, update, delete, booking, I'll say. So that's it. So this end-to-end test it creates a booking, it will update the booking, and it will delete the booking, and at every stage it will validate all the resource details. So that's the reason here I have provided the feature name as create booking, update, then delete, and at last I have added the booking. So we have used two annotations from the Allure API. First one is epic, that's the epic name we have added, and second annotation is @feature, and here we have added the feature name. So these details you can get it from any test management tool. And after that, so I will come back to the test now. So here I'm adding description for this test. So here I'll say description. So I'll specify the description for this test is end-to-end API test. So that's it. And before this one, and here I will add the one more annotation from the Allure. So before I add the description annotation from the Allure, we will add the story. So we have added the epic, we have added the future, and after the future there will be a story, right? So that's the reason here I'm adding the story, and inside that we can specify the story name. So simply I'll say story1. So these details you can get it from the test management tool. So right now I'm adding it like some random values. So simply import it from the Allure API. So we have added the story. So let's add the description. So this description you will be seeing it in the Allure report. So especially you can see this particular description also, and also you can see this description in the Allure report. So here I'll say end-to-end testing. That's it. So we will add one more last annotation that is called severity. So why we are adding the severity is because we will get to know how many blocker tests got failed and how many critical issues are there in the application, and also we'll understand how many minor tests got failed. So based on that we can decide whether we have to give the sign off from the testing team or not. So based on the severity level, so you will understand whether we have to give the sign off to the dev team for the further deployments. If we have a blocker issue or if we are having a critical issues, so we should not provide the sign off from the our testing side, right? So that's the reason. So it is very important to define the severity level. So here I'm saying severity level dot. So if you look at here, so you can categorize your test into the all these names. So you can add this particular test into the blocker, critical, minor, normal, right? So all these values are present. So let's add our test into the critical. So here I have added the critical. That's it, guys. So we have used couple of annotations from the earlier report. First one is epic and future, then story, and at the rate description, and at the rate severity. So these are the important annotations, and these information if you are able to pass it, so you can check the report properly and you can take the appropriate decision on the your API test execution and the sign off part also. So now, so after adding all these annotations, so only one thing is pending, that is called, if you go to the any API call, sorry guys, so after the given, so you need to add one, you need to call to the one method called filter. So inside the filter, you need to pass the one object called Allure REST assured. So wherever we have created the API call, just we have to pass this, but we have to call to this particular method after the given. So let's add dot filter, and inside this we will pass the new Allure REST assured object. So I'll copy this one. So this is the post API call. Let's go to the get API call. So let's add the dot filter, and followed by that we will pass the object of the Allure REST assured. So let's do it same for the token generation API, and let's do the same thing for the put API call, and again I will do it for the patch API call also. Then at the end we have the delete API call. So that's it, guys. So this is a very simple implementation what you need to do it in the your API test class. So after this, simply you can go to the location of the project, and I will open this project folder and I will copy this location, and you can open the command prompt. So let's execute the test from the command prompt. So before we go ahead and execute the API test from the command prompt, so let's create the one TestNG suite file for this particular class, that is the Allure report generation class. We have to create the TestNG suite file for this particular class. So let's do that. Right click on that class and you can go to the TestNG, and here you can say convert to TestNG, and here you can click on this browse and you can select the folder as suits. Under the suits folder, we will create the our suit file. So here I'll say rest assured. Sorry, instead of rest assured, I'll say Allure report API test.xml. That's it. And here you can specify the suite name. So here I'll specify the suite name as end-to-end API testing. That's it. I will click on finish button. And if you look at here under the suits folder, we have the one suite file, that is a Allure report API test.xml file. So if you look at this one in the line number 6, so this contains the class path of the fully qualified class path of the Allure report generation class, right? So we have the suite file is ready. So let's start executing it from the command prompt. So we have taken the location of the project. So simply you can do the cd command followed by the project location. Make sure that you are inside the project. So once you are inside the project location, so let's use the maven command. Here I'll say mvn followed by test and space. Here I'll say -d suite file name and equal to, in the double quotes, simply we have to pass the location of the this particular suite file. So here I'll say dot followed by suits and followed by we have the Allure report API test.xml. That's it. You can hit the enter. So if you look at here, so it is started executing the or end-to-end API test what we have created the same class. So it is started executing all the APIs and it is printed all the token ID and the booking ID also, and it is printing all the request and response details. And if you look at here, so our build is success and there are 0 failures, right? So we are able to execute the API test from the command line. So if you look at the last step here, so after executing all the API test from the command prompt, simply we have to use the Allure serve command, right? So let's execute the Allure serve. That's it. So it is generating the HTML file and also it is opened it. So if you look at this one, so right now we have only one test and that is got passed. So right now it is showing the green color, and if there are any failures here, it will show the combination of the pass and the based on the failed, it will show the green color and the red color also. So bit later we will add another test and which will get failed, and that time you will be able to see the green color and the red color. For the passed it will be green color and for failed it will be red color. So if you click on this show all, it will display all the suite files. Right now we have the only one suite file, that is end-to-end API testing suite file. If we click on this show all, it will show the first suite file. So if we are having multiple TestNG suite files, it will display all the suite files here. And you can click on this one, and this is a test. Inside this one we have the package, and inside this package we have the one test. So if you look at here, so this is the test description name, right? So we have given the end-to-end API testing, and if you look at here, so this is the test description, right? So end-to-end API testing, so this is the description it is displayed here. And if you look at this description, so this is the Allure description, end-to-end testing. So if you look at our TestNG test class, so we have added the description, and this is the end-to-end testing, right? So same description is added over here in the description inside the test. And if you look at the execution, right? So in this execution, the first request is for we are creating the resource by passing all the details, right? So here you can see that what is the request body we have sent and what are the headers we have sent also, right? And for this particular request, we got the 200 as the response, and here you got the booking ID, that is 3360, right? So this is the response what we have got. And once we got the booking ID, so by using the get call, so here we are passing our booking ID, and we are checking whether it is present or not by just verifying all the details. And here we got the 200 as the response code. And then by using the post call, we are generating the token. Because why we are generating the token here is, by using this token we can update the resource details in the application server. Without the token ID we cannot update the resource details, right? So then for that also we got the 200 as a response code. And after that we are making the put call to update the resource details in the application server. And if you look at here, that particular booking ID what we have created, that is getting passed over here. And next we are making the another call, that is a patch. Partially we are updating the same resources in the application server. And finally we are making the delete call, right? So we are deleting that particular booking from the application server. So this is the end-to-end test what we have created in the previous tutorial, right? So let's go back to the overview. So if you look at here, so this is the total count of the test cases, and this is the show details. And coming to the last part, that is the futures by stories. So as of now we have added only one epic, so that's the reason it is showing the only one, and that is getting passed. And coming to the graphs, so here you will find the color, respective colors. So if it is displaying you the red color, so that is nothing but those many tests got failed. And if it is displaying in the yellow color, sorry, and that will be broken. And if it is showing in the green, right now it is showing it in the green color, right? So that's the reason our test got failed, so that's the reason it is showing in the green color. And if any test got failed, and it will display the combination of the red color and the green color. And if you look at here in the severity side, so right now our test is critical, so this thing we have made it in the our AP test, right? So here we have added the severity level for this particular end-to-end test. So based on this one, this graph will be displayed here. So if any test got failed in the critical, and similarly it will add another graph like this, how it is added for the past one. And similarly it will add the another graph with the red color, and it will show them how many tests got failed. So right now only one critical test got passed, and we have only one test, right? So that's a bit about it. And let's come so sorry guys, so let's go to the this behaviors. And here it will show you the proper structure, right? So it will show the first epic, and then it will show you the future name and followed by the story name. And inside this, how many test cases are there, or how many AP tests are there, all those details will be displayed over here. From here also you can check out all the AP test results. And coming to the packages folder, and let's say right now we are having a only one package, that is a com.testautomation.api testing.tests. If we are having multiple projects or multiple models or multiple components, so based on that we will be creating the multiple packages here like this, right? So in that cases, here you will see the multiple packages. Right now we are having only one package, so that's the reason it is displaying just the one package. Inside that we are having only one test. And here also you can see the all the details. So what is the request we have sent, and what is the response we got it from the application server. So let's see. So let's try to fail the one of the test, and we'll generate once again the Allure report, and we'll see whether it is impacting replicate, sorry guys, so it is impacting properly, the Allure report is or not. We'll verify that part. And I will go to the here Eclipse ID, and simply I will refresh this maven project, and make sure that you will get this particular folder, that is the Allure results. So you can delete this one to generate the new report, otherwise it will be merged with the old report. So that's it guys. So let's fail the one of the AP test. I will go back to the same class, and simply I will maximize this, and I will copy this whole test, and we will fail this test intentionally. I will remove most of the API calls, just I'll keep it 2 API calls that suppose and get, and apart from that we will remove all other API calls. So in the get API call we will simply pass the invalid booking ID, so that this particular test will get failed. So here we are having the post API call, and then here we are having a get API call. So here we are passing the booking ID. Here I'll pass some invalid booking ID so that our test will get failed. And so right now I'm making this severity of this test is critical only. Then later we will modify into the blocker also, and we will check the Allure report. and simply I will make this test name as end-to-end API test 2. That's it. So now this class contains the two API test. So one will get pass and the second one it will get failed because in the get API call we are passing the incorrect booking ID. So we will get the 404 error from the application server. So let's execute the API test from the command prompt and then we will generate the Allure report. So let's use the same command and we will execute this TestNG suite file, and this time our build will be get failed. Previously it was success, build success, because one test will get failed, so that's the reason we will see the build failure as the status. So if you look at here, so our build got failed and there is a one failure. And if you look at the state, so there is a mismatch in the status code. So this is the expected failure. So we have executed the API test from the command prompt. Now let's use the Allure serve command. So by using this one, we can generate the Allure report. So it will take few seconds to generate the Allure report. So if you look at here, we are having the two test cases. Out of that, one got failed, that's the green color, and another one is got failed. Sorry guys, one is passed, that is in the green color, and second one is got failed, so that is in the red color, right? And also you can see here under the suits also only one suit we are having, and inside that particular suit one test is got passed and another test got failed. Here you can see the segregation, right? And also if you look at the epic, so we have one epic, under that epic we have the one failure. So let's go to the our suits. So simply I will expand this, and here we are able to see the all the details, right? So if you click on this failed test, and if you click on this part, so it will show you all the stack trace information of the test failure, right? So that's it. So if you look at this one, so right now it is displaying both the test name as same because we have not modified the test description. So if you are able to modify this description, then it will display you the same test name in the Allure report. Right now both the test names are same, so that's the reason it is displaying you the both the test names are like same, and it is displaying you one test got passed, that's our end-to-end test, and second one is it is getting failed in the get API call also, right? So first call it is able to make the post call successfully and it got the 200, and while verifying the resource details in the application server and it is getting failed, right? So this is how we can configure and generate the Allure report. So let's look into the graphs part. So if you look at this particular part, that's the severity part. So under the critical, we have the one test failed, and another test got passed, right? So from looking at this graph, you can decide whether how many, so you can get to know the how many blocker issue we have and how many critical issues we have in the application also. And if you look at this status also, so based on these colors, so our test information will be displayed on the status. So let's do it another one more thing in this Allure report. So what I will do is simply I will make severity for this failure as a blocker. I'll say here blocker, and I will modify this particular test name. That's a we have the API E2E API test 2, right? So simply I will copy the same test name over here so that this particular test name will be appeared in the Allure report. And this is a blocker severity, and it will get failed, and eventually this will be displayed inside the blocker, right? So let's, after updating, let's execute it from the command prompt quickly. So here I'll say just Control C, and here I'll say Y, and let's trigger the execution from the command prompt for the TestNG suite file. So there will be two changes we are expecting. One is that this particular graph, so failure should come into the blocker and one should be passed, that is in the critical. And the second thing is our test name should be different, right? So test name should be E2E API test 2. So let's look at the results here. So our build got failed. So that is the one failure, that's the expected failure. And if you look at this one, sorry, and that's a status code failure, right? So let's use the Allure serve command, and Allure report got generated, right? So we have the two test cases. We will go inside the suits file, suits, and inside the suits we should be able to find the proper test names. So this is the end-to-end test and it is getting passed. And the second test we have the E2E API test 2 and that's got failed, right? And coming to the graphs. So we have the test failure inside the blocker because that test belongs to the blocker and there is a test belong to the critical also, that's got passed. So this is how you can configure the Allure report in your local machine, and this is how you can generate the Allure report in the REST assured API testing. This is Bakapa. Welcome to API testing full course. You can access all the exercise which we have done in the whole API testing course. I have already provided this link in the video description. So anyone can access this link, and also you can get the whole collections and also the environment variable details. So you can take that URL which is there in the description of this below video and paste it in the web browser. And after that, so once it is opened, so you need to export this collections into the your local system. So it will open like this after accessing the link. So this is a public access URL which I have shared it. You can click on this booking API. You can see all the APIs are there inside the two folders. So what you can do is you can click on this three dots and you can export it. So you can click on this export, and firstly you can export this booking API collection, and after that on the right side you can select the booking API environment, and after that click on this icon and click on the edit. Then you can click on three dots and you can click on this export. So this will export the environment variable details. So after exporting it, so you will get these two files. And once you have these two files, you can go to the Postman and you can click on this import and make sure you are there in this file tab, and you can click on choose files and you can select the firstly collection, that's the Postman collection, and you can open it, and after that you can click on import. So firstly you can load the Postman collection, and after that you can load the environment details. So as I have already these APIs in my system, I don't want to import it, and this is how you can get the exercise which we have done in the API testing full course. You can find all the code which I have discussed in the rest assured API testing full course. You can search with the Bakapa and GitHub in the google.com, and here you can go to the my GitHub repository, and over here in the repositories tab you will find the rest assured API testing framework. You can go inside this repository and you can click on this code and you can copy this URI, and by using this URI, and you can simply use the git in your local machine, and you can simply clone it by using the git clone and followed by that specify the URL. So you will get the whole code which I have discussed in the rest assured API testing full course.